It's amazing to think that this Packers offensive line hasn't skipped a beat with their star left tackle, who they just signed to a major extension, David Bakhtiari, out after he tore his ACL. It was a battle of two local teams, Three Lakes and Assumption, both teams delivering haymaker after haymaker. UWSP is currently down 4-2, but that doesn't mean the Dogs don't think they can launch themselves right back into the competition. You got to look at it this way. They still won the NFC North, 13 wins, the second seed in the NFC playoffs, but in reality, they don't have the banner up there, so it's still a disappointment. Night before a state tournament appearance is like the night before Christmas. You know the feeling where adrenaline is pumping through your veins and you can't fall asleep. For a team like Three Lakes, that feeling has increased twofold. The hype around this game starting today was Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams. Now, Adams said he only saw man-to-man coverage 3 to 5 times in this game. A 75-game win streak comes to an end. Now, Three Lakes doesn't even get 12 hours to celebrate.
She's not the oldest, she's not the senior, but she has always been a leader as far as the work ethic that she puts in.
Hannah Merkel was born to be a gymnast.
Definitely say it's my life. I kind of push everything else to the side. School kind of gets on the back burner sometimes, I'd say.
The itch to get in the gym started when she was just 4 years old.
I also started dance when I was about the same age. And my sister did gymnastics with me for a while, but then she eventually chose dance. So part of it, I would say, was I got to do something different than her, and I could be better at it than her.
The choice turned into a wise one. The junior is just one of 20 gymnasts competing for the all-around crown at the Division I level.
My goal was to make her on bars, but it was such a surprise.
That's the challenge that comes with setting goals. The bar is constantly being raised. Once Merkel is done competing tomorrow, the next expectation is put in place.
None of my routines start out of a 10.0, so my goal is to get more skills that are worth value to get my start values up to 10.0.
She already has goal sheets filled out and ready for what she wants to accomplish this spring and this summer. So she's very aware of the rules and what it would take to get there, and making sure that she has everything she needs to start on a 10.
Reporting in Marshfield, Reece Van Haaften, News Channel 7 Sports.
It's just, very grateful, grateful to be, part of the Carolina Panthers, to be in the NFL.
Grateful, a word Steve Russ uses multiple times when describing his life. Russ's life has taken many turns, but it all started in Stetsonville, Wisconsin, a small town of about 500 people just outside of Medford.
When you come from a community that isn't very big, the wonderful thing about that, and I wouldn't have traded it for the world growing up that way, is that it is a community.
The town of Medford was able to see a young man reel in all sorts of accolades. The journey then took him to Air Force to play football. Russ would be drafted by the Broncos, but the idea of coaching wasn't planted into his mind until later in his life.
You don't really think about coaching when you're playing because you're thinking about playing. And, obviously you want to play as long as you can, Reese. But when it was all said and done, I wasn't ready for the game to be done.
From there, Russ couldn't get the itch to coach out of his head.
My dad was probably my first coach, and my mom as well, and set that example. And then, like I said, I've been very blessed to have wonderful coaches throughout the way, throughout high school, college, in the NFL. And then when I got in, just kind of caught the bug, and I just really feel like I've always been called to kind of do this.
Now, Russ leads one of the best linebacking corps in the NFL.
And I just try to do the very best I can to be a great resource for them, to give them what they need to go out here and be successful. And after that, they do a pretty good job of taking care of the rest.
The former linebacker has gone through many changes, and the future is still uncertain. But he will always have his roots to look back to.
I just want to say thank you, because there's a lot of people there, whether it was teachers, coaches, people in the community, neighbors, friends, that really helped all of us, and it took a village, and I'm very grateful for them to be in where I am right now.
Reece Van Haaften, News Channel 7 Sports. Winning the Wisconsin Valley Conference is an expectation in Stevens Point. The Spash Panthers have won the WVC 6 straight times from 2013 to 2018. After a 2-year hiatus, the Panthers are back where they belong.
The locker room was pretty crazy. It was Coach came in with water flinging everywhere. Everyone was jumping.
John Kroll took over the Panthers' head coaching job 3 years ago. This is his team's first title under his tutelage.
He was probably the most excited out of everyone, honestly.
Being part of this program and seeing what our history has been as an assistant coach, but the first one as a head coach is pretty nice.
The conference crown didn't come without some hiccups along the way. The Panthers were hit with a 2-week quarantine just 10 days into the season.
There was nothing we could do about it, so I don't know. It was tough, but getting back out just kind of makes you want to, really come out explosively.
But just when the Panthers returned to the court, they had to shut the lights off for 2 more weeks.
We had 36 days in between games. We had 3 practices in 31 days.
Coming off one quarantine and right into the next, it really sucks.
Can't deny it was very frustrating.
Adversity builds character. Spash came back on the court and just tore through the valley. The Panthers rattled off 9 straight wins after the hiatus.
Once you start getting that momentum going, like I felt we had the first day coming back from that second quarantine, it was just from there, kept on building.
Just like the Panthers are trying to add to the legacy of those before them.
Feels like I'm part of a legacy that we've been building here since, before I was born. Kind of feels like, the Hausers, Anderson, they've been building it up, and I just want to keep that tradition going on.
Kroll added that his guys really took it upon themselves to battle past the 2 quarantines. He said if they didn't keep the right mindset, the team wouldn't be where it is today.